Ivan waha. Lucius waha. Nsem you no pena yebeka ho asem. Na yebeka Chief Justice nominee ne vetting I don't know wasem minority no almost almost na hobby because omo nipa ne tokunu razi enti se mahama bana we tokunu a want na se enhwe nipa foforo a oba no gwen razi my MPP biara okay onya ahobrase etinapa ne mumbio almost stage walk out gwen on boycott here brofo akese but answer no mbe soro yakono Afenyo making kasaye na for the very first time de kwanya mahama yarga ne faso no my MPP biara eno nyame na meba mu ye Lucius ne Ivan wa ha ahobrase area na fe yetimi ahwe eye ye helicopter crash no and then a report no I think 11 yeah number present here His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The report is ready though but official presentation munsema ohone dia ban no sese eye ti eneno abonten komo no efa helicopter crash no hono beba enrade wa hu ye koje ma mampanin ti na eneno de sese yen amanfo no yetie no ombe catch ye mayate ye be ken ho asem kakra ba ma menka wo se lithium ehun hyehye no asan ko parliament bi mende no mbe hye nkomo na se ye ni di akire se o man yen hyehye ni yi a emfantiman ho no fantiman constituency bi ye be sori ye mpene mo ye hrein ye be ye hrein se de masay nafu de beka nafu de ne dan sim de mo bebuo se won wa esese won saka won bibi nsan kan ye mfanteman ho no constituency nim ho no da and ye da de meka no Ivan akwaba
Captain Major so
Lucius akwaba
Captain
Ivan yenko Afenyo making versus Ayaga Chief Justice vetting
Captain the dika mention na mention what if we share ache na do ho sie I think say obi a owo Ghana wa follow the proceedings regarding the removal of former Chief Justice Tokon Obiano could see clearly say there has been a lot of opposition among more people on the other side are more critiquing this whole removal process as somebody submitted a petition to the president. The president followed through. None of them and it may premise any of their argument on any substantial grounded in law. Aside the usual emotions, suppositions, assumptions, individual emotions, and normally among fortuna, but you will not hear any single person that can pontificate a single constitutional provision of your truncated, your circumventive procedure. None. The argument in the constitution is emotional. Then the president, true to the mandate as a president, appointed Obi Justice Bafuboni, and he's supposed to go to Parliament for approval because that is what the Constitution says. The Chief Justice require prior approval by Parliament. The prior approval, and they decided to do vetting. That is up to Parliament to do. Enti corner or corner say Obi wo baby now or any issue with ne vetting and appointment na Captain. The only legitimate avenue available for you to address those concerns in a court. You go to court, you secure injunction, and then tell them, say, we have secured injunction because something untoward has gone wrong, and for that matter, we are stopping the process. You don't go to Parliament and tell the Speaker of Parliament to stop the process because the Speaker is not clothed with the power to stop your friends a vetting, because that is a constitutional process that has been set in motion. The Speaker of Parliament, any authority to do that. the only institution that award that power to stop that is a court. And court no so toko no ya on any for have demonstrated clearly say answer na ubetimi stop a constitutional process that is in play no captain. You need a bag full of sensible justifications out of the court. I'm a court with so and yes sir the obey be aware no kwa. You need reasonable justifications. I'll bet me say you go ahead, not say you promote and I am man by chief justice. Subsequent way no irreparable damage irreparable. That is the only argument I court to bet me. But aside that, there is nothing anybody can sit somewhere and say process in your own constitutional because Abraham John Mahama was elected president in 2012. Some people sought to inject in the inauguration. So but the court says the person has been validly elected by your friends, the Electoral Commission, the people of Ghana. Commission, you know, you're independent, not declared as president. If you have any grievances, be a concerned. I am not going to stop the ceremony. I am a Panabe president because the constitution, a minor cannot go a day without a president. You will create a constitutional crisis. So, who any concerns be now go to court. Now, say court to not fair, say. Or legitimate grounds, and then you can bring your victory from court, then we quash and then invalidate the whole electoral process. And this thing has happened quite recently in Kenya. So you are federal marking of all people know some of these things. But you know, my culture said public space. I don't know what his motivation is. I think that he's using this whole thing maybe to build himself because their reputation is very battered. And maybe he see this committee meetings or be as an opportunity just to stir confusion and answer man for who so irrelevant and but the oil and I think that wayama your friend say ne ho cry your Ghana for because maybe not onimba be a yegina. Today Afenyo Martins has the moral audacity to sit in front of a committee and question somebody's integrity. Captain, Abraham na Akufo-Addo your appointment to Okromana the judiciary was in Gates, Samra not to China and sort to Bangladesh. Was he not in this country? When you and I were sitting here complaining, said the president was appointing people who were affiliated to the MPP because we have a failed parliamentary candidate, Ho Central. I will be and said this person is an MPP person. We sat in this country, Afenyo cannot to China. Today he's calling for credibility. That person was appointed into the judiciary at the time. Now the judiciary in this country was in its lowest element because people were subjecting the judiciary to ridicule on social media and so forth. But the president went ahead and appointed that particular person. Some of us complained. Sorry, in one of the rulings, he raised objection to his inclusion on one of the panel because he said the issue was a political issue. Talk on a constitutional issue or qualify. You see. And very often they throw in very weak and very unintelligent argument telling you, say, Oko NDC pencil, your friend President Mahama in the past na appointee PNDC for Mumbai judges. Now politics na ye 1990. Now how na Ghana for well versed in politics. Today, every single Ghanaian in politics, they become overly sensitive to issues of politics. So whenever that's how get them out. And I want to factor their emotions in as a former. You will be laughing at the wrong side of your mouth. Because my culture say, idea is sustaining the enterprise called governance and your trust and confidence. I mean, you repose in the establishment. The very moment your trust will go down, the whole establishment will go down. You must be crazy to sit somewhere and say, "Oh, my no soldier for the police for the bomb." Or what you saying? So Ghana force sorry to say a Jubilee House. Do you think anybody can stand there? So the power na so you must always stand and make sure that the trust and confidence sustain. So appointing that person or politically aligned and affiliated to an institution or a political party will be a Afenyo Markin didn't have the sense at the time to know something has gone wrong. They sat there and approved that particular gentleman. And again, several other appointments and so it got to a time and the whole judiciary was weaponized to the extent we opposition party now the case no court in him say what failed that your friends say talk no fast on this speaker issue within a short period of time. Conventionally we were told speak your friends saying Supreme Court ends on Friday. But look at the swift response or this panel Yamukuti that particular is your friend said the speaker was stopped from doing all that is there. What the chroma I used to the judicial be so dirty, and it is one of the reasons why Ghana for to abatia. So today you have no credibility to be sitting in parliament making that scene unnecessary calling people out. Now we never for born why our integrity? Because this is a gentleman Supreme Court Opobia watching Onua. He was appointed by President Kufuor somewhere 2008. The only way Kufuor didn't because election petition, he didn't move for President Kufuor. And no two money seen so. And now Kofa junior on your competent at the time to and the person you are fighting for today has demonstrated clearly say she's incompetent because I'm not sure say Nejo Mahama Sasana say Toko no mra me chief justice obeba. Because how can somebody who is chief justice who remember because I go court I could make argument say me process na mo ye no munko yi no TV so when you know say there's an express constitutional provision on it say that particular thing cannot be done on TV, the chief justice of making such childish and infantile your friends plea our court. There are some judges, judges catch it, and then she went to the extent of impugning the integrity of the very people or no more year Juma. She subsequently went on TV and did a press conference. Petitioner is held it in camera, no. How can you vote for the competency of such person? And then today you have the audacity to be sitting in parliament trying to create unnecessary scenes and that. But I don't blame him. I blame the NDC MPs. Because Captain, in the past, you know, when some of us were sitting here, say, people like Kenoforiata, don't forget that Akufo-Addo judges no appointee no. NDC never boycotted any of these things. People sat in parliament and approved them. And the way I said, do you think Obe respectable? Because Justice Gawia Mekana said, some people were coming out with funny arguments. Oh, from me region, my nehene Afrina catcher say, you were Edru. So look at the way, the kind of humiliations and those kind of stuff that we're doing. Look at the ordeal Sam George and other people went through before they were approved. But Kenoforiata not what demonstrated clearly in the entire 4 years. Say, Finance Minister no sabi and kwasiabosiana krono no de bebono. We will happily approve him. So when you do that, you send a message to the other side say one kasa no sabi umu ho, and they can easily take advantage of that particular way. No mbeye de ombeye enti eduru uswa. He will treat you as a fool because on no free say better than you. So because I will have NDC for far so more approve some of the appointments and as for Akufo-Addo, even though Nigerians were angry even against the demands of the core party people who were very angry, but the MPs went ahead and they drew some George for Afenyo marking to say Mahoro himself and for that matter go ahead. But for Bonnie because he is the most experienced person sitting at the Supreme Court. The next person close to him or any interval it's almost 10 years because he went to 2008. The next person 2015, I'm told say one other judge, distance almost 8 to 10 years. So when you're talking about credibility, you cannot say that particular person and the time no ekati across all the president. Rollins time no Kufuor time no Mills Mahama and Akufo-Addo na Mahama Siamba PM. So you have no moral to sit there and be pontificating and tell him say onye justify again. Toko na wo kana sem no. Say, Ufri says something has gone untoward throughout this whole process. Just point a single one out. Yet, Ghana Bar Association, Bar Bonti, I know the day they were also engaging the same emotional argument, grounded in no substance. Ghana for 2 money go. What is all my back? Because as lawyers, people expect you to make legal and constitutional argument. You don't just speak like say carpenter or camera because or can't but to be a word you need to point law. Captain, now Obi a Ghana Bar Association will make your argument say Chief Justice and treating here. Aren't you supposed to ground your argument in law?
That's right.
Obi or your carpenter, you know me fancy or ni memra or no better make normal arguments. So once they were not able to establish grounds grounded in law, I know that you should know say something is wrong. And again, Chief Justice belongs to an association. Do you know that association? An association of judges. What is all more kasara o baby da? Now free say omono because your camera. We are lawyer. Sadly, we're more confused. We are lawyer. You are just trained to have a refined understanding of the law. They give you licenses to go and practice, but you don't interpret law. The only entity that is clothed with the power to interpret a constitutional provision is the court. Right. And they say, "Adibia call wrong and call wrong." And then Gafri say something has gone wrong, and judges association So why Ghana Bar Association now speaking instead of the lawyers association? What I say because you don't have any tool to interpret law. That is why election petition of all people will stand in the court and make fine, fantastic argument. I don't see an judge in about to go. Because what the other can be a the other KBI judge and what the power to put interpretation on this. And you think if something has gone wrong, nobody support will be so victimized. We are here seeking to protect the very foundations of our democracy and institutions of state, because they are the lifeblood of our democracy. And we will not sit here for few people because of their misguided greed, the insatiable quest to overcome whatever, no, about subject state institution to whatever that they want to. The fact of the matter, and I say, Captain, Afenyo Marking and Co should just shut up if they have any reasonable grounds. Our officer Bafu Boni was not properly, your friend saying, appointed. They should go to court. And again, on one case, the authority will be near. He's a young guy, but he cannot go to vetting. He cannot face any vetting committee for even 1 minute because the skeletons in his closet, Onua him. And then Akufo-Addo appointed as a minister. Can he ever go for vetting? You can even go for vetting and you sit there and be talking, your friend said, the way he's talking. And you see, those of them who think, say, this is an opportunity for them to rebuild themselves. I may not say, public accounts committee, so ya buy out, so ya bro, see the way you sue the institution just to rebuild herself. But don't forget, the deputy and Semuna course, she was part of it. Today, this. You see, he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. And some of these things, and an avenue for you to go and build your tattered image. So, Papa Ghana for would know. What does American say?
Lucius, who come what?
Me pese kra say me alcohol mu bi because I think say enra I really nya kwan eti ehwe videos mu bi na ensema na me kan de dodo na I think say Ivan aka enti because ohwe niema Afenyo Marking say lo krum ha ya airtime na me ma dwen kire me say because NPP no abaye unpopular no ni I say or per se offer that so now so the other no popular but so who say ebi mu ni di no adua ho no ye to aba you say your friend say MP ye do aba into constituency na ya to aba ayu wo mu no that constituency no enso wo expectations enti say obet na ho a na party ni so de but don't take advantage of party na enye popular no emfa make you popular. But Captain, yeah, now me pese me can say we say ya to base P mu. Say what ya me pese me can a horn kakra because man say ebi mo I start e ka ho asem. Ebi mo they compare the previous base P increment, and even the recent one by ya President Mama Kotina mu no. Na no kwasem ye say enra ba na be frefre me no nyina no. Me catch be say the previous base pay abetu ma na niema inflation is money the exchange rate at the time na o de ba be compare we what we say aban no ayeden ayade because na inflation enam somewhere 23.8 na yekoto base pay na ekoma 25 you see it tells me say scanner obeje no krampo no untimu nhede de emfa nya hwe sa enti upon sa increment na eba ye ni nyina no ye nyina ye hu ahokyera na eden na ewo krum ha isi enti se ene inflation nam 8% na se exchange rate no aba fam na se government no ka se oma 9% it tells me say ohun betimi ade ohun betimi ahenhan wo ahokyera na ewo previously no as compared to ne ye nyina ebedi adanse say ya hu nto ye bebri sa na mum eye sen ayi enra administration na eden ewo honom no ba captain ade ba ko a me pese me sande kan we a me kan ho eye se admefo no bi mo no because ye ba be read budget no ye read the budget ni we na say ye boss say base pay no ya increase no by 9%. Meaning say admefo bi to say teacher for and nurses morning as for no sometimes won say be sha say be agitate no kwasem yes say base pay say etum eye no even 100% krampo a you still na no your admefo bebre wo ho no ma be ho ebe den ho be kire be ewum ahu say wo pese wakatua na oje no eso ani a I think say they should begin talking with their union leaders. Say condition of service no say home near sebeden behwe because and they are yatum even 9% no those with good condition of service no bebe de beden ebe konanim what you say be say wo no ye ma even 100% kwa na say o condition of service nya kame akwa to say still na no ugina babia ugina wahu go on say recently ya nurses ebimo nurses be eba bonten be case o be condition of service bimo a say be hwe kwan say aban no e de be mabe no on fa mabe and I think say be cause strike kra wo sad no ho and I know say teachers for also bimo so no be wo condition of services bimo as a government no hwe as abri we see no they nya enye den enhwe mfa mabe meaning teacher for the able to say the deprived area allowance in asefo a akama ebesi sabri no government no nya den enhwe enti the mesre say who feel say ebia the oje no is nothing to write home about her, then we should be looking at the condition of service no union leaders no they're not no needs Ghana midwifery association so say then nasefo no say be hwesade no na be beka because obi ya di obi akoto akurase na say what deprive no na opese o ma no allowance wo ho na wa ka chen so ye be ma allowance na wa hye akura na se akira dia na won fa ma na eno no e basa ema ni ha ana se obi a oye nurse ni na wa promise no say easy extra duty allowance ana say overtime allowance na say won fa ma na enso di ani ha den eba enti no mesre say 9% in there for now no they betumi consider say eye but say bia say ye hwe the other areas say condition of service no say betumi di bibi kakra abeden aba kan ye ho a ye hwe sa area no so say na be ya at least say bosome so na say wo kwa kwadu pay na wa hu say anya hwe kra no base pay no a mensa kan ye no say aduma we ya me ye ya na extra duty ana say uniform a me share ya ye ka say be ma uniform allowance no ye de ama me eni nti no at least metimi eden 8 million ye bibi wahu because ukọ other jurisdictions bi to say extra duty allowances ye mfa ni agro ma men kan sem back ukọ ba bi to say teaching folder ye me ma be responsibilities bebree sa responsibilities ni nyina no nipa no enya allowance bi ya mfrim obi ti GS sports teacher na say sports coordinator aduma na oye ni nyina meetings a wabakokọ ne say ye be sports o tracks or hair school form ba ye training na sefo ni nyina no oye no kwa onya hwe film but this is a special duty or an extra duty that is being assigned to the person say onye den onye ntino at least say odi aduma foforo de aka no say onye dia say usu utimi ye den utimi appreciate aduma na oye no say na ebe ya onu nso no nani be den nani be so na watimi aye na waye ni nti captain me feel say with the 9% in there for now make me aka say with the current of inflation any exchange rate ewo ho there I believe say 9% no enya bad na mom ye hwe kwan say ye koyanim no niema bi betimi abaye de betimi aba keka ho ama akatua na ye nyina ye expect say ye nsa betimi aye den aka no ye nsa atimi aka
right helicopter de yen trainer on kan wi na yen kawi
ora ma me fact for first one na me kan so ma
fatwa so na
captain you see I think that what the NDC MP should know is politics and your Pentecost sorry na kwatena ma o menuanom sa Professor Mills na ma na yemfa manya me that kind of nsemu. Whenever you're dealing with people and they prove to you say they don't respect them, tell them say you don't respect them too. Because and yes, sir, always people will take you for granted. Because I heard the reasons. MPP and no Judicial and Afenyo marking they created this scene like a tsunami in a teacup. There is no reason, but they are just making it look big. Now hear what transpired in the past, and the NDT got involved and gently approved Kendoforiata MPs one saying judges and as a former. Clearly you could see that these people have no respect for you. And that is the message maybe people are not getting. Because no free say or no or you're better than you. They can do whatever that they want. They will marginalize you and spit in your face and tell you say, and no, I'm sorry, I'm more corner. Whichever you see it will draw in your face because they are spitting at you. But you sat in and approved in the past, you know, Justice Jawi American Assembly and several other judges at the time, and Ghana for were very angry. Kano Ferrata, second way, you approved. And now what Tanasa now has said. Sam George, no, Orban, no, you be abonio. Now we had your modern form because no Chilena drink keke. And for that matter, MP for Horom, free, say, yeah, approve. Now we can for that time, Kwasi, Abosi, and now bought at the time, that scandals and you going to come. Now what Tanasi and happily approve him. Then that is up to you. You understand? So you need to find that distinction because when you're dealing with your opponent, know who the kind of people they are. Then you craft yourself to mimic them and you do double what they do. And yes, they will always take you for granted. Because you see, to them, they felt say now they don't have the numbers. They have nothing because John Mahama Bayes has been almost 1 year near. There hasn't been a single scandal. The economy is thriving. Your friend said that abuse of way. Now, acquire could be also when I been a press conference and as for MPP for way. More probably press conference. Uncle Pobi or Tekasa will be on Tekasa as a press conference. And someone can not stop Papa so. Because he was talking, say, people were witch hunting or be no witch hunted. Captain, if you're a political strategist, now we end this in here, Casa Pay or be MPP, na young witch hunting. Will you go for Napo? Because will you go for Un to me? Because one to me has zero political capital. These are people who do election, be no back to 1,000 votes to free votes. So no political strategy like NDC will say, yeah, which hanty will be you go for your friend saying, one to me. And Napo the same thing. Napo Eduru election not one normal boss so 50-50 or yeah or Kasaba could meet 2,000 votes to go. Such a person will which hand that person because you want more of their kind to be in the party. So people should know say going after wound to me and other people and your political witch hunting. And because of Abrabo Mabono Kroma say na Kronwa Kasia and then now what you want to say moral conviction and nasa what senasa na wo he Kronwa Kasia eba up and Kwabrani to meet number fast stop we over millions of Ghana cedis. Obi to national service no bon kwase akron we know yes say and do it why do you have that moral conviction to even make public appearance and be talking the way they are talking? And now no they have nothing on the government because things seem to be in that particular order. There has been discipline, the albino economic front, things are getting better. And as a typical Ghanaian politician, they cannot sit still and watch the thing to be good. They want scandals and as well, but we see Ghana for are sick and tired of this dirty politicking and they want things to be done right. So if President Mahama today has decided to do things right in the last 1 year, there hasn't been a single scandal. To Ghana, they are happy because this is what we want. You understand? So what's in China? Now if we say somebody is being witch hunting and so forth, why MPP so you be an Omakafano? I wow don't sabo my sikam and some more cano. There are evidence abound. IHS and the Nipana say won't to me bibi. Ya bonidin at the time Akufo-Addo your president. Omoka no or call Catholic Bishop Conference. Ewo Kuforibia ko catch the Ghana for say won't to me nyanya. Enti no dear Kosui and indicted the president position earlier. Now we will be a war adwin vote. We will come back and say ya which anti obi. Does it make sense? And then the judges, just go back in the past, not say and do proper analysis. Captain, you see, I think it's about time I mentioned the point kind of crash because as a politics, these people are still sitting in the past. You see, why we are in the present, because we are no longer in 1990 where the average Ghanaian not only the left from the right. Let the answer say, Metikumasi Fikasi, men and no or son intimism your son, be free voter, na men and not to wear your NDC. Science and come. And then the average Ghanaian looking at the pressing issue and the prevailing economic circumstances. And and for the average Ghanaian, they become sensitive to issues of politics. So sad drama and science politics now where people can sway, they think they can sway emotions with some of these things. It's the reason why today, even though the MPP is in opposition, but they are struggling to connect with the people of this country because what's your mind more? In the political dispensation, the political party that is supposed to have easy connection with the people is supposed to be the opposition. But look at them sitting on high horses, very arrogant, insulting, posturing. Do you think people will take side with you? Look at the way they are doing to themselves, you understand? So I think people like Afenyo should just come down from their high horses. And for him, he's not even a leader because such an arrogant person cannot be leading a party that is in opposition. Oh yes, you will need people. What's that? He's very arrogant. You see, at this time, you need cool-headed individuals. I'm bet me speaking sense to people, to convince people, and even to bring people from the other side. That is the job that you need to do as an opposition. Now, Katrana, Kasafia, not Bafaboni, and you hear Kasafia not in the man's space. And this person, or don't know, maybe also say by a judge, can maybe not public secondary school, and he was just talking those filthy words in his presence. You understand? Because one opportunity to sit there. I think the MPP leader I want MPP to do well because you see, Ghana cannot be a one-party state, but they need
Masa.
Oh, Masa, they need to spend time. They need to.
I don't know how many person will do well.
Oh, you see,
MPP don't the political party.
I want to prove it to be effective opposition. You understand? And they have the numbers. So for me, I want them to organize themselves properly. Na party otimi with me catch us I can 9 pe. How I drain say the pussy 9%, no. So me, I want them to. You see, you have to be very responsible. Somebody abide no, and you 1 or 2 things may go wrong. So as a credible opposition party, you sit back and critique. Now we make corrective effort and we go on. But if you turn yourself into some sort of a hostile element, what they say, I know the day Ghana will not have trust in you, and John Mahama, I want the tacit approval of every Ghanaian, or that's already no so Momodi or Maisi called on Babo Cat work you for telling you Ghana for Jinapan.
Pick up.
Yes, and people volunteer, and the Afenyo market, or Nim said, or Muhusia Ghana for him. He has no idea. Mr. John Mahama that's already no so the MPP for a boka to a pure form. Ghana for how JB Bedi mate and now Betribi. I'm on for Bukako Jina Kwan. They don't know how Ghana for hates them at this point in time. So we are smarter, we are reasonable, no? You over transfer our calculator and see how we winning the love, speaking the language people will respect. And you think this arrogance display of tantrums and temperament, on TV, just trying to sabotage the whole process when the person involved hasn't done nothing, and who is going to win your vote? You are just joking. I think that they need to set up. And I'm with General Secretary, so I'm coming by Bintina. We got party and
Masa, party no there.
I'm a bufu, and I think the party need to get better. I want the MPP to get better. Somebody by a responsible opposition party. And I'll mind it to me. I want to mean you party for me. On Kasa cry the two shaky. Now, I'm probably
a person cofa OSPP.
Now, press conference will be on Tikasa by press conference. I want to take us across Mokama phone for you. I want to take us. Massa, they should get serious. Oh, Massa, they should get serious. They should get serious. We see, some politics in a year, 1992 policy, you happy emotion, a trouble. And I will convince the average Ghanaian. They need reason. What I say, Kenyans are some children.
Would you?